This session is going to be a shorter discussion where we are going to explore about totals and subtotals in Tableau. You might be wondering as totals and subtotals, what exactly is, can we speak on totals and subtotals? See, if we could take data analysis is all about how do you extract the right information so that you can make right strategic decisions. So this right strategic decisions can only be made if you are able to come to relevant conclusions about what type of actions that you are going to perform. So if we have to come to conclusions about all of these things, one thing that's taking a predominant place in analysis is that your data. So we need to value our data. And as much as Tableau software is concerned, um, using, see, when you will start making use of a software like a Tableau, just because of the reason that you wanted to keep your clients happy and also you wanted to grow in your business in a right way. Okay. So if you have to perform all of these things, then only you will go and concentrate on a software a software like a Tableau, right? So with all of these, with whatever I have said, Tableau is something which is very, very essential who is concentrating or focusing on finding out the right directions in which their businesses should run. Okay. So keeping that in context, this particular concept of totals and subtotals is something which will find its application, especially with somebody who is actually running a retail business or someone who is having an e-commerce website to sell some kind of products, and then anybody who is related to um, dealing with consumer goods. Okay, so all of these organizations will have one thing in common. What is the one thing that they will have in common is that they definitely will have to deal with a large volume of information, and all of these informations will not be, as you look into the informations, you will find like a jumbled kind of A and B's, wherein you will not be able to identify what is hidden inside the information. But this is what, where the information, this is the information that you're going to make use of to drive your business. Okay, so this is going to be something which is hidden. So when it is hidden, uh, you know uh, I obviously have to have some kind of methodologies or some kind of techniques which I need to use it, so that the hidden information comes in a way wherein I can make a strategic decisions. This is what is the goal. So especially in these type of industries, the totals and the subtotals is something which is going to play a significant role. Why? Because suppose if the company or the if the retailer wanted to understand which are all the categories of the products which is being sold, and uh, say for example, currently a particular wing, like Big Bazaar was under a lot of trouble, right? So Big Bazaar is something which is going for nearing to a shutdown. Okay, when it is nearing to a shutdown, um, they wanted to identify which areas they should operate on and which are the areas that shouldn't be operated. All such kind of informations if they have to figure out. Okay, so for all of these things, this concept of total and subtotal is going to be helpful for them. Okay, so this is the reason why I wanted all of you to get exposed to totals and subtotals when you are learning your Tableau software. I said the importance of your totals and subtotals, and also theoretically what you need to understand with total and subtotal is understood. Now that we have to get inside our Tableau environment and then explore on what how can we actually find out a total and a subtotal for the things. Okay, so let's just get inside our Tableau environment first of all. Okay, so this is the Tableau environment which I am there already. And yeah, so now as you can see here, um, you have the superstore data source itself, which is your sample source data source. You can see here, which is your superstore data source is there. And generally, what do you mean by a grand total and what do you mean by a subtotal? We need to understand that first of all. Okay. So to understand this, basically, what you need to do is that let's try to identify how we can find out the grand total and the subtotal. Okay. So first of all, the thing is that we need to, let's take if in case if you wanted to find out a grand total, it is mandate that you at least one measure should be there with you. Okay. So for that, let me just put in the rows. Maybe I will just put my this where is the prod, yeah, this categories we can put. Okay. So this is a region wise category. Okay, let me just remove this. I just wanted to add in my category of the products. So let me just put the products here, which is a category, and then I just wanted to put in the year, that is your order date. I just wanted to keep it here, and my sum of sales is already there. Okay. So now that I'm unable to see any kind of values which is here, so let me just change this to text. So when I change this text to text, I think you are able to identify the um, the categories are there, and year wise what is the sales it is making up. So we are able to identify that. Okay. So now let me just explore the subcategory also, so now you get a better picture. Okay. So now that what we will do is, I just wanted to find out the grand total first of all. So let me just go to analytics, and then here what you have is a total. Okay, just click on this totals. See here, if you drag this, you will get this option where you can just add in these whether you wanted to find out a subtotal or a column grand total or a row grand total, anything you can specify it. Okay, suppose if I have specified a row grand total, you can identify that for each row it is creating a grand total. So the total complete grand total means that the set of all I mean, the total of everything is supposed to be your grand total. Okay. Similarly, if in case if I wanted to find out a subtotal, you can see here as per the category. Okay. So for the furniture category, what is the subtotal? What is the sales value? I can identify it here. Suppose, for example, I just wanted to find out a column grand total, that is also possible here. So you can see the column grand total. For each category, you have your grand total, and also the final grand total is also here. The total grand total is also here. Okay. So this is the way you can actually make use of the subtotals and the grand totals. And one more thing that you can do is that suppose, like if you wanted to uncheck these things, you can also do that. And also if you wanted to add all these subtotals, that is also possible. And if you wanted to remove all of these subtotals, that is also possible. And all of these things could be done. Okay. And that's the meaning of your grand total and the subtotal. So one more thing that you need to remember is that whenever you are performing your subtotal or your grand total, what happens is that most of the time it is going to be a sum, right? Suppose if you wanted to change the sum to say for example here, if you see here, you can just see here. Okay. See here, when you click on this, you have an automatic. So you can if it is automatic, the sum is different. You can choose sum, average, minimum, maximum. All of these things could be chosen from here also. Okay. But by automatically it will be doing the sum of it. Okay. So this is something that I wanted to show you in terms of your total and grand total. So in Tableau, the calculated total for all the categories is what you call it as a grand total. Okay. When you calculate the total at a category level, then you call that as a subtotal. Okay. So always remember that if in as much as Tableau is concerned, if you wanted to use grand total, then the visualization must at least have one header. Okay. So it is mandatory to add a dimension either in the row or in the column. Okay. So that's the way you can actually make use of totals and grand totals. As I said, if you want to display the total sales received for each category of sold products, grand total and subtotal feature is definitely helpful. Okay. And especially when it comes to an e-commerce company. So this is something which comes handy. So that's the idea that I wanted to give it to you in terms of the totals and the subtotals. Hope you got an idea how you have to work with the subtotal.